Hey everybody. Oh man, was that country again? Hey everybody. All right, welcome to Xavia Fox Talks, and of course I'm your host Xavia Fox, and today we are here with part 2 of the Sister Circle. I know you guys are enjoying part 1, and there's lots of discussions and controversial debates, and I'm loving all of it. We're loving it all. And so now we're here for part 2, and the women are going to talk about y'all men. How about that? They about to talk about y'all. But it's not going to be men bashing. I don't think. Unless you guys need to be a little bashed. Anyway, I'm going to not take up any more mic time. I'm going to turn it over to the lovely women of the Sister Circle, and they shall introduce themselves one more time as they come back to join you.
Okay, you guys ready for number 2?
Questions.
My name is Sheila Brown, and the question is, why are black women single more than women of other races? So the statistics are that 70% of black women are single compared to other races. So my thoughts on that is that the lack of the father in the household. You know, as women, as black women, we have seen time and time again where our mothers have had to be very strong, and they taught us to be very strong. And so we've taken that along. But you know what? I just don't want to put it on one person or one segment and not the other segment. Because without the father in the household, black men didn't have that opportunity to see what a marriage was supposed to be like, or what a father was supposed to be like, what a husband was supposed to be like, you know. And so I think that has caused a lot of issues within our community and within our area. And so we really have got to get back to the basics. You know, marriage is hard. Dating is hard, but for the sake of our children, for the sake of our race, we have got to make these things work. You know, no matter what, we got to stay together. We got to fight through it. So I think that is one of the bigger issues and the concerns, as opposed to, you know, more in the white families, there was more of a family unit. So.
I think, to piggyback on what you said, it seems like a lot of African American women are groomed to be that independent woman, and a lot of times we don't know how to cut that off and know the boundaries in terms of a relationship. It's hard to go out and be the manager, the coach, the mother, the principal, the leader out into the workforce, and then come home and turn that switch off when you hit the door. It's very difficult, and I at one point was very guilty of that, and so I understand that it is a challenge, because when you are at a job for 10, 12, 16 hours a day, and then you're at home for maybe 8, that's a small portion of your day. So you really have to make a conscious effort to change the role when you get home. So I think sometimes that's a difficult transition.
Yeah, I'll agree with that 100%. I think it's just making a conscious effort of just bringing it down a notch when you get home from out of the workforce. And, you know, I think I don't want to offend anyone, but I do think some races, certain particular races of women, can be a little bit more submissive towards men than African American women, just because of what you said. We were grown, you know, raised to be strong, independent women. So I'm not going to take whatever you say, you know, to me lying down and just like, okay, it is, you're right, you're the man, you're the master. Like, I'm going to voice my opinion or tell you if I disagree or don't. But you have some other races that would say, okay, you the man of the house, whatever you say is right, and that's it, because they were brought up that way. Or, you know, that's what they saw. So I think, you know, there is a difference between the races and how we were raised and how we, you know, react and interact with men.
I think you already know how I feel about this. But I'll just say this. You know, I agree with the comments. I do. You know, I think you guys are more focused on women, you know, as to why we're single. There's other reasons, you know, like you just said, we're raised, all of you just said, we're raised to be this strong, independent female. Why? What happened that your mother has to raise you to be an independent, strong female who can care for herself?
Well, you know,
The lack of
Why
male.
is
She
she
did mention that.
Exactly. So,
Right.
yeah, but why are
Right.
they absent? They're failing us. You know, I mean, come on. I don't think a mother is just going to say, I need you to be independent. I need you to take care of this. You have to take care of that. You're here for man.
Right.
So she should be grooming you to, you know, learn to be the helpmate. But if male or men has failed us time after time after time, I'm not going to raise my child, my daughter, to be submissive to a man who could possibly fail her over and over again.
True.
You know, I mean, I may give her a little bit of both. I need you to be independent, and I need you to be able to be there, help me, you know, that God says you're supposed to be. But at the end of the day, you know, men are failing us. I'm sorry. They are. They're insecure because, as we spoke about earlier, a lot of us are making more money than them. And that is their conscious choice to feel intimidated or insecure by a woman who makes more money. That's not going to stop us from loving you. You know, we're going to love you regardless. We don't. It's not your money that makes us love you in the beginning. So they make the conscious choice to say, well, you know, she's making all this money. You feeling intimidated. So you want to run. You want to go find somebody that makes less money. Now you feel more of a man. Why does your pocket have to make you feel like the bigger man? Your pocket has nothing to do with that. So a lot of guys are actually failing us. And yeah, some of the percentage falls on the women and the whole independent attitude. You know, but a lot of it falls on men. They need to realize who they are. Your job, yeah, maybe you may say you're a lawyer, and that has a lot to do with the determination of you being a man, not to us.
And there's so many factors that fall into that, and we kind of talked about it before. And yes, I do agree with what you're saying, and that the men are failing us. However, there's so many factors that fall into that because we are more marketable in the workforce. You know, you get a woman, you get a minority, you get a woman. You know, we're moving up the ranks a lot faster. We're making a whole lot more money than the men. You know, and so there is this difficult road that they're on. However, I do think in the process of this difficult road, so many of our black men have given up.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what, forget it. I'll just let her take care of me. And so now the genders are switching. And the roles are switching.
I gotta jump in. Let her take care of me. How about let her be your helpmeet? Like she's supposed to be.
Right, but I can't
Let her help you give up. Exactly. You know,
now you're my anchor.
That's
right.
true too.
But why give up?
Right.
Instead of giving up, let her play her role. She's your helpmeet. Let
That's
her
true.
motivate you and help you get to where you're trying to go instead of running away from us. You know?
Yeah.
And one thing as African American women, we have always stood by our men.
Yes.
Regardless
Through
if
hot
you're
water
down,
and hell.
no matter what the black man is going through, we are there
stick in
fixing
there.
him.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think, you know what, the whole thing, I agree with what everyone is saying, but it's a combination of everything. They were taken from us way back when. Not only were they taken, and then that led to them walking away from us and not being there, being as a supportive. They always say African American women, we need to uplift and encourage our men, but men have to encourage us as well. Being that we are so easily let in, so to speak, in most cases, they need to support us in that, and we work as a team. And then on the flip side of that, in that giving up that you're speaking to, it's not really many options out there. Most of our brothers are in jail. If you look at the numbers, they're constantly putting them away from us. So what do we have to choose from? And the ones that are available, they don't make themselves available to us. They make themselves available to other races. So it's kind of like the burden of
faith
proof
is gone.
lies on us and them.
You know?
So to get back to that wholeness of family and to show men and women what need to be done and to give examples, it lies on the women, where we do have to learn how to be submissive, as well as the men have to be open to learning how to support their woman, instead of saying, well, you're not going to be quiet, so I'm going to go with someone else.
Exactly.
So why make it easy for other races? Because I've seen black men do
We
that.
can't
But
let the
and made
faith
it
be
real
gone.
easy.
She said the faith is gone.
Yeah,
We
if you look at it, I know it's sad.
But you know what? To add to what you said, Kelly, really more what I've experienced in dating is men are just non-committal. It doesn't matter for whatever reason. It's not necessarily that I made more money than they did. It's not necessarily that whatever reason. It's just that they have so many options. They know statistically they're outnumbered,
Yes.
and so they don't have to. Really, it kind of falls back on us because so many women are desperate and doing desperate things that, you know, the work is not so hard for them. So, you know, I meet a girl Tuesday, Friday I'm knocking her boots.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, but that's
not-
still a level
it
of
may-
maturity too, though. You know, it's also a
But
level of
it's
maturity.
rampant. It is so
It is.
rampant, and the age doesn't matter. Young, middle, old, it doesn't matter. Men are just very non-committal because they don't have to be. And so that really falls back on
Well, then we
us.
should have asked why there's so many single men.
But you know
I
what?
think it
And
falls back on them just not having structure going up.
Exactly.
They
No
didn't
structure.
see that. They didn't see
Exactly.
it. So you can't
They weren't
expect
taught.
somebody to do something if they weren't taught that. They don't know any better. And part of it, you know, we can take it back to slavery days and the women being empowered more than men, but they just don't know any better. That's what I think. Why?
I think that has a lot. It's a combination, but I think that's a portion.
then
of it,
also-
too.
and-
their lack of knowing how
That's
to
true,
commit
too.
and build a family, and, you know, and be, you know, with
That's
this.
true, too.
It really is a lack of knowledge
I
too.
remember seeing a
Because look
basketball
at all the
player.
absent fathers.
Yeah.
So all the men are growing up without that structure.
But I can't necessarily agree with that because some people, when they don't have that structure, that father figure in their lives, they make a point to do the exact opposite.
That's true.
But that
And so-
percentage is not higher than
That's
the other.
very small.
Right.
So
Very small
People tend to
percentage.
go in
Well,
the
what they
direction
know.
of what they know.
Exactly.
But you're right, there's a small
There are.
percentage that
Yeah.
will go.
My
opposite
nephew,
way.
my
Right.
nephew didn't have his dad, and now he's married. Takes great care of his family. You
And
know,
then, then we're to the point of at what point do black women stop? You know, we are taught to uplift, but now we have to work. We have kids. We have
Exactly.
homes. We have cars. So we
So
have
I
to
can't be
do these
concerned
things.
about you
So
supporting.
you can't be so
You're the
supportive.
leader,
You don't have that
behave
time
like one.
anymore
Right.
to
Yeah.
nurture
Try to
them.
raise two
That's
boys.
something that should have happened in the household.
Exactly.
yeah, that's
You
true.
know.
And you know what else I want to say? Just because a lot of times people think what I don't like, and I see a lot in women, period. Just because someone is single, it does not necessarily mean that it's a bad thing for that person. Sometimes everyone has to go through that period of singlehood to get to know who they are, because I personally agree, if you are not stable, whatever that stability is for yourself, you don't need to be in a relationship because you're bringing harm to that person and they're bringing harm to you, and you're further not knowing the whole connection with a relationship. So like I said, in my case, I'm single because I choose to be. I shouldn't feel like I should put a caution sign up like I'm not living because I don't have a man.
Exactly.
Life don't start and begin with me having a man.
Exactly.
It starts and begin with me knowing who I am.
That's right.
So if you don't know who you are, you really don't. Because I talk to a lot of young ladies and they feel like I'm not, well, my friends got husbands and they got men and I'm by myself. Well, you're probably by yourself for a reason, but don't let yourself be outcast because everybody's in a relationship. Everything that glitters is not gold. So you're looking at something that
From
may
the outside,
not be.
yeah.
You're by yourself because you're still cooking.
Don't make it like cake. Don't make it like cake. Don't make it like cake.
And then unfortunately, some people still baking their cake and they get married.
Yeah, it's only been a year since I've been out of a relationship, and I just personally like to give myself space, break, you know, reevaluate if there was anything I may have done wrong, which it wasn't. I'm just kidding. But you know, that's my own reason why I'm single. It's only been a year, so I'm not ready to just jump into anything. You know, I'm sure I wasn't perfect in that last relationship, so I japped off a lot. So you know,
No, not you.
Yeah, you know, so I need to learn it down so that I don't take it into the next relationship. It may be another 6 months, maybe another year. You know, until God says I'm ready.
That's true.
You know, I'm just gonna be single. Maybe
And that's
sooner than
true.
later, though. You know.
So enjoy your single.
Yeah,
Enjoy
exactly.
being
Exactly.
single.
Oh,
Enjoy
yes,
it.
I am. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Because if you enjoy this
That's
time
true.
season in your life, then
Yeah.
you enjoy the next season.
That's
If
true.
you hate this season in your life, you think it's going to make it better than that. It's not.
Mhm.
It's not.
It's work.
And
I enjoy it. You know.
It's true.
Yeah.
I can get up, go when I want to. I don't have to answer my telephone. I can look at the number and be like, "And you know, what are you gonna do?" I'm sorry.
That's true. I don't even want to share my closet. I'm
You
sorry.
know?
That's so selfish. But
Don't leave your toothbrush, please. Take it back with you. Don't try to place your claim or what's those
Mark your
territory.
That's
Leave
what I'm
it, take it with you, because I'm not leaving mine in your house.
That's true.
I need it.
So I think, as you ladies said, it's getting back to women. The burden of proof lies on men and women. It's women need knowing how to be strong enough and learning how to pull back enough to make that person feel like they are a part of their team. Likewise with men, they have to be more open and to support that woman, because we too are wearing all these hats, and you just giving up, going to prison, and you just giving up and walking out. You're not helping us either. So it's getting back to learning how efficient being a team is.
Yeah.
It goes back to those basics, I believe.
Yep, family structure. Yeah, men and team. Yeah.
All right, so
You make decisions based upon what you deem is right for you, and then you consider, you know, if you're doing the right thing by her. If you
A lot of women don't respect the man as the head of household. A lot of women don't.
I'm taking care of you. I'm giving you new clothes. I put a roof over your head. You can't tell that I love you.
Right.
You know, I mean,
That's
you're not gonna do that for some hoe off the street or some skeezer. You're gonna do this for the woman
That's
that
how
you
we
love,
think. Right.
and
That's
that's
how we
how
think.
men. A lot of men think. I know that's how I think
too. Yeah.
That's how I think.
Yeah.
And then women say, no, you need to take me places. You need to do this. You need to shower me with affection. Hey, why don't you paint my toenails sometime? Like, what? Paint your toenails?
Right.
No, you know, I knew when to shut up. I did sometimes, not all the time. You know, but I knew he was the man, and I'd say maybe 65% of the time I allowed that. You know.
Foxy, I see you.
This girl, this Fox, thinks she gon' eat loaded yam, the whole thing, but that ain't going on. Jimmy Jam gon' smash it. With my guest, Xavia Fox from Xavia Fox Talks.
And you can tell everybody what you want to be called by.
Xavia Fox here, still on the red carpet, represents
X.